Good morning, good morning. You made it back on time, just about on time. Hey, buddy. How are you today? Let's see. Oh, it was like nice and cool outside, but now I'm like sweating. Ugh, guys. All right. Just getting all the chats set up. All the chats. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Here we go. I'm good. I decided to give myself a break and sleep in a bit. Oh, good for you. Did you get the work done that you had to get done yesterday? You were stressed about taking a break. But I'm glad that you got to have a good night's sleep after all that work. Good morning, Mel. Hello, hello, beautiful. Yeah, haha, good. Well, then a well-deserved break. Although I'm sure you deserved a break even if you hadn't gotten all that work done, but I know I sleep better when I know I got my shit done. So, whew, I'm a little out of breath. Actually, I caught my breath back. Just got back from a run. That's why I'm so sweaty. But, it's all good. Gotta fit in those things that you care about where you can, right? Okay. Is there anything that you guys specifically wanted to work on or to stretch out today? Does anything feel particularly tight or anything maybe you're curious or interested about that you'd like me to add into today's practice? Just drop it in chat. You got that glow. Thanks, yeah. Like a minute and a half ago, it was just like, it just like ran in. I'm like, okay, gotta start stream. The dogs were like licking my arms because they're like so salty. All right. I cannot play Kid Cudi during stream. Whoops, it's just playing my running playlist instead of my yoga playlist. Whoops. Whatever. I'm honestly such a small channel. I really don't think I'm gonna get a strike for anything that I do. Got that glow. I would love to request some lower back love. Ooh, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, we'll hit some twists. Some lower back work sounds great. All right. We're gonna get started in just about a minute here. So I'll just let you know, just like I do in the beginning of every class, that everything that I lead you through is just an invitation. Don't feel any pressure for things to have to look a certain type of way. I'm more invested in you feeling a type of way in the poses than looking like some sort of specific shape. So your poses are 100%, not 100%, your poses are definitely going to look different in your body than they are in my body. That doesn't make them better or worse, right or wrong. The only things I want you to really pay attention to are my cues when it comes to alignment. So knee over ankle, that's going to be important. You know, wrist below shoulders, things like that you want to really pay attention to. Otherwise, don't get hung up on the details. It's not a dance routine. You know, go at your own pace. Drink water when you need it. So we'll start class as we always do in a comfortable seated position. Just take a nice seat on top of your dog. And We'll start with a grounding meditation, really a grounding practice that's working us towards meditation, breathing, some pranayama, and then that'll be about 10 minutes. And then we'll move into the movement practice, asana, and that'll include yoga poses you recognize, maybe some new ones that you don't, some functional movement, some joint resiliency work, some lymphatic shaking. Today is a hat day, but I'm too sweaty, so I was just going to deal with my Steven Universe, like, hair situation. Oh god, all right, doesn't matter. And then at the very end, we'll end with a nice long Savasana final relaxation pose, and I'll guide you through that, and that's going to be like 8 to 10 minutes long. So, coming to find a nice comfortable seat. That can also be in a chair. The important thing is that your heart is over your hips, head is over heart, hands come to rest, palms down on the lap, or palms up if you want to give and receive a little energy, if you feel you've got some extra to give. Palms down to ground down. Eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. If not, a soft gaze just beyond your legs is appropriate. And we'll start with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose, shoulders rise up towards the ears, and out through the mouth with an audible sigh, shoulders drop down. And allow the breathing to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Returning to a natural pace. We'll take a moment here just to arrive. Let go of everything that came before and everything that's to come up after. And just become present to yourself here in this moment. Here in this space. And begin to allow sounds into your awareness. Maybe the sound of traffic or birds outside your window. And perhaps you have pets or roommates shuffling elsewhere in the home. Allowing all sounds in all part of this moment, this experience. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. And feel the weight where your body makes contact with the ground below you. And the weight of your hands on your knees. And begin to scan your body from head down towards toes. Checking in for any places of tightness or sensitivity. Any restlessness or fidgeting. And just taking note to work into the spaces that call out for your attention throughout your practice here today. And shifting that awareness up from the body, Anamaya Kosha, to the breath and energy level. pranamaya kosha. Notice energetically where you're at on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being exhausted, fatigued, ready for bed. 10 being so full of energy, it's hard to sit still. And shifting that awareness up to the breath. No need to change it, just observe inhalations, exhalations, and whatever space in between. And shifting that awareness up to the mind, manomaya kosha. Allowing thoughts and feelings to arise freely. And observing them from a distance. No need to engage. Like a film being projected onto a screen, the storyline goes on without our direct involvement. And just notice, what are the quality of the thoughts today? Do they have a positive or a negative tilt to them? Are they ruminating on the past or attempting to predict the future? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. We'll bring the attention back down to the breath. This time actively expanding the breath. Every inhale sips in a little more air. And every exhale lets something more go. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling, filling the belly. Belly expands like a balloon. Ribs expand as well, out horizontally. And exhale, deflates. The ribs pulls in belly button towards spine, using some muscles in the abs for that effort. Following the breath here, we'll add on our pranayama, our breathing technique. For this month, we're learning Ujjayi, or we're practicing Ujjayi pranayama, which translates to victorious breath, but it's more known in English as ocean-sounding breath. So we'll continue inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but bring a constriction to the throat so that you can actually hear the breath going in and out like waves lapping up to shore. It's almost like you're trying to fog up a mirror in front of your face with your nose. Still, the breathing is slow, and it's not super forceful. Like if you're in real life yoga class, the person in the mat next to you could hear your breath, but probably the person 2 mats down could not. your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath, back to the throat, back to the belly, expanding and contracting. So this pranayam, Ujjayi pranayam, is called victorious breath, in that the breath becomes victorious over the mind, over the thoughts. When properly practiced, it must be focused on, and so it doesn't really leave room for other things to filter in. In your next exhale, releasing any effort from the breath, relaxing the throat, and returning to a natural breath pace, perhaps affected from that breathing practice. We'll invite the hands to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra, no space between the fingers, and the thumbs pressed into the sternum. Consider here setting an intention or a dedication for your practice. It might be the sankalpa, the heart's desire you've been working with all year, your New Year's resolution, or something new may inspire you to show up to your mat today. The invitation is just to set this intention in the present tense and the affirmative. For example, if you're aiming to live life more mindfully, or you're trying to overcome some challenges, it might sound like, I flow through life with ease and grace. I flow through life with ease and grace. And we'll seal that intention with the sound of Om. You're invited to chant along with me. First, a cleansing breath. Allow your hands to release to your lap, chin drops towards chest. And on an inhale, right ear rolls over towards right shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest, and left ear rolls towards left shoulder. Allowing the head to just roll side to side. Good morning, Swiss. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Greg and Elijah. Welcome. Just beginning to wake up the space between ear and shoulders. The next time the right ear rolls over the right shoulder, we'll bring the left hand on top of the right hand on top of the left side of the head. No need to pull, just the weight is enough. And left arm reaches away. And gently drop the hand down till the fingers are just grazing the floor. Give the head a little nod, yes, to find where the sweetest part of that stretch is. We'll hold it here just for a breath. Releasing the hands back down, chin rolls down through chest, left ear over left shoulder, still seated up tall. Left hand comes to land on top of right side of the head, and right arm reaches away. Gently float the hand down to the ground, such as the fingertips are grazing the floor. We'll give the head a little nod, yes, to find the sweetest part of that stretch. Full breathing here. Release the hands down to flat. Head rolls down through center, bringing the head up to neutral. Roll the shoulders forward. Beginning to open space in the upper back in between the shoulder blades. And roll the shoulders back, opening the chest. Nice. And inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, bend over to the right. Left hand crosses in front of the body or sweeps in front of the body. Right hand follows for a nice big sweep. Just continuing in this movement, just a little free movement. Doesn't have to look any certain type of way. We're just waking up the spine to a little fluid movement. We'll change direction, sweeping over to the left. Crossing in front of the body. The next time the arms sweep up overhead, we'll hold them up here for a deep breath in. And exhale, high twist to the right. Left hand lands on right knee, right hand lands on the ground behind you. Just a gentle twist to the right, opening the chest towards the side wall. Inhale, back up through center. And exhale to the left. Following the breath in to rise. And out to twist. So these aren't the deepest twists ever. We're just waking the body up to this direction. Warming up the muscles surrounding the spine. And we've got one more to each side. And the next time the hands come up through center, we'll bend in the elbows, bring the hands to ear height. Sorry, there we go. Husky hair in my eye. All right. Waving the hands, just begin to warm up the hands and the wrists. Then palms flip down, fingers wiggle, edge to edge. Just warming up the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, and the wrists and the hands, and undoing some of that repetitive movement that many of us, probably most of us, do all day for work or otherwise. And then our school even, palms flip up towards the sky, fingers are pressed back. As far back as possible. We're rotating here. And shake off water nice and gentle. 3, 2, 1. All right. We'll just do a little bit more neck. We'll just work on our neck rolls here. So you can stay facing forward. I'm just going to turn so that you have a better look at what this movement looks like. Seated up tall, chin tucks in towards chest. Nose is rolling down, forward. up, back, and back, in and down. We're smoothing out this movement. Shoulders stay relaxed, whole body's relaxed, but with good posture. And just the head is moving here as we begin to open up new spaces in the neck, the cervical spine. And we'll change directions. So chin tucks in towards chest. Reaches back, all the way up, forward, and down. Last cycle. And back to center. You can just let the head drop side to side, just kind of undo any tension that kind of built up there in your jaw. Extend the legs out in front of you, spread and stretch the toes. Point and flex the feet, roll out the ankles. Change direction of the roll. All right, bend in the knees, feet come flat on the ground. We're going to drop the knees side to side, just allowing the hips to warm up a bit here. And the next time the knees fall over to the right, bring the hands down to frame the right knee and come into a tabletop pose. Wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. We'll turn the hands out to 3 and 9 o'clock. And then fingers are spread wide. We don't lift the wrists. Just going to shift it over left and right. Show you without being too scandalous. There we go. So we're just shifting left and right, giving the wrist a deep stretch. It's really slow, and you're only going as far as until you feel that edge. So it's like an intensity level of 8. You don't want it to be like blacking out from pain. If you've got a lot of space to lean over here, you can bring your hands even closer to one another, and that's going to make it tighter. Like, it's going to give you a little bit smaller range of motion for this. The hips stay over the knees. You're just staying really stable everywhere else. It's a slow rock from side to side. The opposite of what I wanted to happen. Cool. So the next time that you're leaned over to the right, shoulder over the right wrist, weight over the right wrist, hold it there, and the breathing continues. So we hold the position, but not the breath. And bring the weight over the left wrist. Shoulders come back over the center. Bring the wrists back to neutral. Tuck the toes under. Almost send the hips back to sit up on the heels. Fingers interlace and just a gentle roll out of the wrists like a figure 8. So we're just working on wrists a little bit every day, trying to prevent that carpal tunnel or other complications that tend to happen with repetitive fine motor skill movement. Little shake out. By the way, you can always be on your mat for class. I just am weird about it and like forget to use it half the time. So don't, you should definitely use your mat to protect your joints. All right. I just have like carpet, so I kind of get away with stuff. So hands under shoulders, knees below hips. On an inhale, belly drops, hips and chest rise for cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine, chin tucks towards chest, cat. The inhale, we're opening chest and abdominal muscles are stretching as hands press down and back, knees press down and forward like you're going to scrunch your mat together. And on the exhale, we're opening the space between the shoulder blades, between the backside body vertebra. As the hands press down and forward, knees press down and back like you're trying to stretch your mat apart. Inhaling through cow. Exhaling through cat. Beginning to calibrate the speed of your body to the length of your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose if that's available for you. We'll return to neutral. Right arm sweeps open on, Very good. Okie dokie. No, we are good. Sorry, I just got a little notification on my computer. It seems like we're all right. Okay. Yeah, seems like we're all right. All right, beautiful. Okay, so right arm sweeps open from our tabletop pose. And on the exhale, we're going to weave it through, reaching without landing. Inhale, sweep the arm open. Exhale, weave and reach. Once more. Sweep the arm open. Exhale, weave and reach, this time landing on the side of the head and the outside of the right arm. So I'm using this bottom arm like a kickstand, pressing harder or softer into the ground to kind of regulate the stretch on the right shoulder. And the left hand is pressing into the ground, pushing the left shoulder up so the chest is opening to the side wall, like the long side of the mat. Hips stay over the knees. And just breathing here. Should feel a twist in the whole spine. Also an option here to bring the arm up overhead for a stretch. Or it might feel good to bring the back of your hand to the back of your lower back. Maybe even sliding it over the side to grab the inside of the right thigh. But if that makes you, just make sure the shoulder stays pulled back. So all these other extra movements are just in service of keeping that shoulder pulled back. The focus here is on the side of the neck, on the right shoulder blade. Maybe that left leg extends straight. The toes can stay touched to the ground. And then maybe pointing the foot, petting your dog, pointing the foot and slowly floating the leg up. So momentum is not your friend here. You want to do this slowly and intentionally, like moving through honey. All the while breathing fully. And that foot can float back down to the ground. Gently release the knee to the mat. Left hand presses into the ground. Right arm sweeps open. And release that hand down to the mat. I'm just going to turn so I can keep facing the screen. Left arm sweeps open, tabletop twist. And exhale, weave it through, just reaching without landing. Inhale to rise. Exhale, reach. Once more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, reach and land. Side of the head onto the ground. Left shoulder onto the ground. The back of this left hand's pressing to the ground. Stronger or softer to kind of locate the sweetest part of the stretch of this left arm. Right hand on the ground presses to keep the chest open. The hips stay over the hips, so we're getting a spinal twist in this posture. And there's an option here to extend the arm up overhead. If you're working on that half bind on the other side, work on the back of the hand to the lower back, and then sliding it over towards the inside of the left thigh. And one side might feel different than the other, so feel free to explore. You can always go back if you decide that's not the position that's best for you today on the side. You might extend the right leg long. Slowly pointing the toes, coming to a little float. Then levitate that leg up. Still, we're breathing fully. Reaching through the toes. Pressing through that bottom left arm. We'll float the foot back down. Knee touches down. Left hand comes in front of the face. Or rather, right hand. Left arm sweeps open to the sky. And release that hand down to the mat. Tabletop pose. Alright, so we're facing the front end of the mat. Right foot takes a step forward. And left toes tuck under. And scooch back to find that space. So, leaning forward and back, just to get a little stretch in the calf muscle, the back of this leg. If you're not feeling a stretch in the calf muscle, just bring the back of the knee closer to the ceiling. So really straighten out the leg to find that stretch. 2, 1. We'll release the left knee down to the mat. Right knee over ankle, hips press down and forward as the chest presses up. So we're getting the chest up over the hips. The back toes can be pointed, so the shoelace part of the foot's pressing into the ground, or the toes can tuck under. This is what I want to do instead. Hands come down to frame the foot. My apologies. Toes point. The shoelace part of the foot presses into the ground so hard that the knee lifts. Gently lowers and lifts. So I'm pressing the top of my foot into the ground so hard that the knee's coming up off the ground. You should feel a bit of a stretch in this front left hip flexor. 2, 1. Now that releases down, then we'll bring it up to this Asana low lunge. We're going to press into the front right foot, bringing the hips up over the back knee, more of like a wedding proposal pose. And then we're sinking it forward. Asana, low lunge. You might have to adjust the spacing. My legs were a little bit too far apart for that. Hips rise, up and back, hips lower, forward and down. Still my knee never goes past my ankle. Maybe it goes back a bit further, but it never goes past. Got 2 more like this. Sometimes tension in the lower back is caused by tightness in the hips. So we're just gonna undo a little hip, what's it called? Hip opening movements here. All right, here we are in our low lunge, Asana. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, hands come down to frame this front right foot. Now the left arm sweeps open. So we're twisting here. I'm gonna turn around so I can actually see you. Option here to tuck the left toes under and raise up that back knee. You're gonna get a little calf stretch here and just a little space. If the knee feels awkward on the floor, you can just tuck the toes under, even without lifting the knee. That's another option. But I'm keeping this right knee over the ankle. It's gonna wanna like splay out or like fall in, but we're just keeping it nice and upright, perpendicular to the floor, reaching through this top hand. One more deep breath here. Release the hand down to the mat, release the knee down to the mat, and bring both knees back to tabletop pose. Left foot steps up between the hands. And the right toes tuck under, lift the leg up, scooch the leg back, and then coming to tiptoes and back, just giving the legs a little rock forward and back, the right calf muscle a bit of a stretch, finding your spacing. We'll release the knee down to the mat, untuck the toes. Now shoelace part of the foot's pressing into the ground so hard that the knee lifts and gently lowers. Lifts and gently lowers. You should feel a stretch on your right front thigh, quadricep, and hip flexor muscles. Gently release that knee down to the mat and bring the shoulders up over the hips, double checking that this left knee is over the ankle. We'll press the hips up and back, wedding proposal, and then sink the hips down and forward, Asana. Hands can be on the hips for stability or even on that knee or other thigh. Still, we're breathing fully, just trying to smooth that movement out and finding the edge of your flexibility in the hips as we sink forward and down. Little relief as we press up and back. Stretch as you press forward and down. We'll keep it here in this low lunge. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front left foot. And the left arm sweeps open, stacking left shoulder over right shoulder. Option here to tuck the right toes under. And then another option to lift the knee. Still, this knee stays over the ankle. It doesn't fall open, it doesn't fall in. Shin stays perpendicular to the ground. We're breathing fully here, even in the contortion of the twist. It's like my belly's pressing into my thigh. A deep breath in here. And exhale, hand releases down to the mat. And this time the right foot steps up to meet the left at the top of the mat. We'll heel toe the feet out to the edges, pinky side edges of the mat. Bring a breath in here. When we exhale, we'll sink the hips down, chest and shoulders come up. So we're going from this forward fold position to this deep squat position. Doesn't have to be your deepest forward fold or your deepest deep squat. We're just going from one edge to the other. Heavy head, light hips. Heavy hips, light head. Light hips, heavy hips. And the next time you come up to your forward fold position with the hips up high and the head down low, you can give the head a nod. Yes, the knees can be a little or a lot bent here. They can be so bent that your belly is actually resting on the thighs. That's cool too. Head nods, yes. The head shake, no. Grab opposite elbows. Give yourself a wave side to side for ragdoll. So just a little free movement here. Maybe bobbing back and forward feels better for you. Really, whatever works. Just letting the weight of your upper body and gravity open up your backside body. We'll bring it back to center. Release the hands down, release the hands from the grip, and we'll bend deep in the knees, coming back into this deep squat position. So heavy hips, light head. So I'm trying to bring my hips down and forward so that my chest can come up over the hips and head can come up over the shoulders. Almost like my back's pressed up against a wall. And I use my arms as some leverage here. So my elbows are pressed into my knees, and that helps me get my chest up nice and high. My feet are more or less parallel to one another, but maybe a little bit of a 45-degree angle out. Somewhere between 45 degrees out and straight forward instead of all the way splayed open. Does that make sense? So I let my knees come in, my elbows come in, and I use my elbows to open up my knees. So hands come up, knees come in. Hands come down, knees open out. We're breathing fully here. Three, two, one. All right. So, hands come down. We let the legs straighten out. Heel toe the feet in towards one another. Big toes come to touch. A little space between the ankles. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins, crown of the head towards the front of the room, hips towards the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale rolls you all the way up. One vertebra at a time. Heavy head comes up last. Arms sweep up when you get there. And exhale, hands to heart center. There we go. And we'll turn to face one another. Let the hands come onto, hands come onto the hips, and the right knee opens out to the side. We'll drag that foot in towards the ankle and allow it to float up to the calf or maybe even the inner thigh, but not the knee. Really tempting to end up on the knee. We just want to end up above it or below it to avoid any like ACL problems later. So my hips press forward, my knee opens out. Hips pressing forward, knee opening out. How do I press my hips forward? I squeeze my glute muscles to help tilt the hips under instead of back. So instead of like popping your booty out, you're doing the opposite, tucking the hips under. Vrksasana Tree Pose. And that's happening, that hip thing is happening whether my foot is in my thigh, on my calf, or on the ground, at the ankle. Vrksasana Tree Pose. Hands might come into heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. You might even grow up through center. And branch out for a tree pose. Breathing fully here like there's a string pulling up from the crown of your head. And bringing the hands back, like pressing rewind, come down through center. And gently release this knee and foot all the way down. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Now let the left knee open out to the side. Drag the foot into the ankle. Maybe drag it up to the calf or even the inner thigh. As the foot presses into the leg presses back. How do we do that? By pressing the left knee back and tucking the hips under. When the glutes are squeezing tight, engaging, tucking the hips under, that's really going to press this thigh into the heel. Bottom foot, we're just kind of letting do what it needs to do. We're strengthening all of the little stabilization muscles in the feet and in the ankle. But the good news is that we kind of work on this every day that we're standing up. We've been working on it since we learned to walk as babies. So we already have that body knowledge. It's just about really focusing on just one leg, doing it at a time. So you have everything you already need. It's not even so much about building up the muscles. It's about just mentally getting over the idea that you're just on one leg and that's challenging. So like letting go of that idea and just trusting that your body knows how to do this. It does this all day when you're standing. And getting over any frustration of falling out and getting back in, falling out and getting back in. It's all part of the practice, all part of the game. So if you are playing with hands, maybe you've brought them to heart center, maybe reach them up overhead and opened up to branch out. Vrksasana Tree Pose. And we'll release in reverse. Hands come down through heart center. Leg slowly floats down. It lands. Take a deep breath here. We're just going to shake it out. Shake out the leg. Shake out the arms. Bring a little bounce to it. So we're lifting the heels and allowing them to drop with soft knees. Letting the shoulders rise and drop as well. You can start breathing in and out through the mouth now if you haven't already. Audible sighs are invited and encouraged. We're just letting the body flop here. Like just let whatever wants to jiggle, jiggle. Let whatever's available to shake, shake. Releasing tension and stress. When it comes to lymphatic shaking, you don't really even need to name the stress. Like you don't need to start listing the things that you want to let go of. It's like stuff in your body that you might not even be aware that you are holding on to. This is an opportunity to shake it off. And we'll come into our breath of joy. So 4-part breath, our letting go practice. And it looks like 3 sips of air in through the nose, consecutive with no exhale in between. And 1 big audible ha sigh out. So on the inhale, arms sweep forward. Inhale, arms sweep out. Inhale, arms sweep forward. And a big ha, arms get thrown back. We've got about 10 of those. So in, ha, in, ha, in, ha, in, ha. Ha! 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 3 left. If you haven't joined in yet, now's your chance. Ha! Ha! Last one. Make it count. Ha! Ha! Hand to your belly, hand to your heart. Feet come nice and wide, eyes can close. Let's just take a moment here to observe what was created, taking your body like a snow globe and giving it a righteous shake. And now we pause to observe where that glitter dust settled, what was revealed. What shows up when you allow yourself to take up space and to be loud? And what shows up as resistance, stopping you from fully participating? Not right or wrong, not good or bad, just something to notice. Gently blink your eyes open. You can grab a sip of water, towel off any sweat that might have built up. You're good. Loose. If you're already on the ground, you just stay there. We'll meet you. And if you're not, you can come down with me. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on shins. Exhale, bend in the knees deep, deep, so deep. You come down to seated. Extend the legs out in front. The left leg stays extended. Right knee bends in, and we'll bring the foot to the outside of the left knee. Right hand comes onto the ground behind you. Seated up nice and tall. Inhale, left arm sweeps up. And exhale, we'll hook the elbow with the knee. Alternately, you can hug the elbow with the knee. Hug the knee with the elbow if that hook doesn't quite reach for you yet. No worries. Either way, we're using the grip of the elbow and knee to leverage the right shoulder open. twisting it open here. Pulling this right shoulder back, letting this left shoulder stay relaxed away from the ear. Matsyendrasana spinal twist. So I'm flexing through this left foot. Deep breath in. And the exhale deepens the twist just a bit. So inhales pull you a bit taller. Maybe they pull you out of the twist a little, that's okay. And the exhales deepen the twist. So that's like all dramatic. What I just did, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But you might not even be able to see it in your body, but you might be able to feel it, the deepening of the twist, like wringing out a sponge, like your spine is a spiral staircase. Literally knows how to open doors, guys. I just closed it 3 times. You're invited. The other door is open for you, honey. We just got one more breath here. Then returning back down through center. Extend the right leg long. Left knee bends and foot comes to the outside of the right leg. Left hand comes to the ground close to the lower back. Sit it up nice and tall. Right arm sweeps up on the inhale. And exhale, hook or hug elbow and knee. Use that leverage, that fulcrum point, that leverage point to press into, to open up this left shoulder. Pulling it behind you, opening the chest towards the left side, left long side of the mat. Right heel stays flexed away. And still we're breathing, even in the contortion of the pose, even with doggy breath in our faces. We got one more deep breath here. Release it back through center. Uncross the knees. Feet come in, or rather, double check behind you that there's no pets or water bottles or anything that's going to hurt you. And then the hands come behind the knees. We'll press the belly up against the thighs, seated up nice and tall. Drag the hips forward just a bit. And then we tilt it back to come onto that tripod, left and right sits bones, and your tailbone for Urdhva Navasana, upward facing boat. And we lift the shins up parallel to the ground. Shoulder blades are squeezing together, deep breath in. And exhale, we release the hands and open up that angle just a bit. Inhaling to hold. Exhale, extend. Inhale, hold. Exhale, extend. In to hold. Exhale, lower, almost down, but still holding strong. Inhale, hold. And exhale, completely release, full body stretch. Toes and arms point to opposite corners of the mat. All 4 corners of the mat, rather. Nice. And then we'll bend in the knees. Tuck the hips under. And bring the knees in towards the chest. Hands come onto the knees and just hip circles here. So I'm just making circles in opposite directions from one another. Everyone wants to be on the yoga mat today. Changing directions. All right, then so with the knees hugged in towards the chest, we're gonna come into happy baby pose. So the feet come straight towards the ceiling. I'm still keeping my knees bent. Hands come to the arms come to the inside of the knees, but then grab outside of the feet. So I'm grabbing onto the pinky side edge of my feet, and then just allowing myself to have a little rock side to side. So on the one hand, it's almost like I'm trying to pull my knees in towards my like the ground behind my shoulders. Like that's not actually the goal, that's just like a little bit of a pull. My feet are straight up towards the sky. And then there's like a little bit of play here where you just kind of give yourself a little rock side to side. So you get a deep stretch in the hips. Get a little lower back massage. As you tip to one side, like I like straighten out one leg and then the other. It's just me messing around, doesn't really have a name. My head's relaxed on the ground, shoulders are relaxed. Really just letting the hips be the ones moving this posture. 1, and then we'll release the feet down to the mat. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh and press the knee away. So just like in tree pose, I'm using that hip strength, just press the knee away. Using just core strength, the left thigh pulls in towards the body. Then the hands reach through, right hand through that little donut hole space, and the left hand around the outside to grab behind the knee. So as the left thigh pulls in, the right knee presses away. You can even use your elbow to leverage that. So I'll show you from another angle. If you're not feeling much of a stretch on your right thigh, pull your foot even further out. So instead of the ankle, it's even more of your shin. And that's going to give you a tighter squeeze, like a tighter stretch on this. If you're here and like the knee just easily presses back. Right foot stays flexed, but the left leg can be kind of relaxed. The left foot can kind of stay relaxed. It doesn't have to flex or point. The shoulders are completely relaxed. We're just using bicep strength to pull the leg in. We're not harping on, we're not using any shoulder strength at all. Totally relaxed. Reclining figure 4 pose, or reclining pigeon pose, sometimes it's called. So every inhale finds a little space, maybe a little opening in the right knee. And every exhale pulls the left thigh in a little closer. Last deep breath here. And gently release the hands. Just the left foot comes down to the mat. Right ankle still crossed in front. Release the hands down by the sides. Tuck the shoulders under. Slight tuck of the hips so you feel your lower back press into the ground. And then peel the spine up off the ground. Hips rise, lower back, middle back, upper back for a figure 4 bridge pose. Shoulder blades are tucked under, so I'm really pressing into my triceps and shoulders for this pose. I'm not so much pressing into my neck. My hips are rising, opening this hip up, and still I'm breathing fully. Last deep breath in. And then the exhale, gently lower down one vertebra at a time. Hips touch down last. Cross the legs here, so my knees are coming close together. And I'm gently going to drop the knees over to the left. Stacking right hip over left hip. The arms open up like the letter T. Right shoulder pressing down towards the ground. Otherwise, everything's pretty relaxed. It doesn't matter if these knees touch the ground or not. Just be giving a nice deep stretch to your side body, to your lower back.
arm, so I couldn't get up if I wanted to. Just got one more breath here. Head comes back up through center, knees come up through center, and you can untangle them. Okay. Left ankle crosses over right thigh. Left knee is pressing away. Using just core strength, the right thigh pulls in towards the body. You're going to reach the hands through, left hand reaching through that space, right hand reaching around the outside to grab behind the right knee. As the thigh pulls in, the left knee presses away. So you can use your elbow to help with that resistance, that leverage. Let the shoulders be relaxed, just using bicep strength to pull it in. Left heel stays flexed, finding the right distance for the foot to be across the thigh. Just breathing here in this reclining figure four, reclining pigeon pose. Every inhale presses the left knee away, and every exhale pulls the right thigh in a little closer. These are all really small movements. Last deep breath here. We'll gently release the foot down to the mat, keeping it close into the hips. Left knee still pressed away, arms released down by the sides, shoulders tucked under, slight tuck of the hips. And then we'll begin to peel the spine up off the ground. Hips, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders tucked under, real strong. My triceps are pressing into the ground to support this posture, Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose, but a figure four bridge pose. So the knee is up over the ankle, don't let it splay open to the side or anything like that. Hips are driving up to the sky. So breathing fully here. Just got one more deep breath. Release and reverse. Shoulders untuck, middle back, lower back, hips. Complete the cross in the legs so the knees come close together. We'll gently release the knees over to the right. Left arm opens up like the letter T. For Supta Matsyasana, supine spinal twist, with a little bit of a different variation. You might look over the left shoulder here to complete this spinal twist. We'll bring the head back up through center, bring the knees up through center, centering the hips, uncross the legs, and just notice, is there any last wiggle or movement or stretch that your body is asking for that would really round out your practice? Any body part that didn't get quite addressed, any pose you'd like to revisit, doesn't even have to be a pose, it could just be a wiggle, so you can rest more wholly in your Next Shavasana final relaxation pose. You might also be putting a blanket up over your body or putting socks on, as your body temperature will lower in this next exercise. And as we enter our Shavasana final relaxation pose, just looks like extending the legs down the length of the mat, letting the feet land at least a foot apart, legs so relaxed that the feet naturally splay open. Arms land down by the sides, palms face open, maybe 6 inches from the body, a symbol, a mudra of receptivity. Allow yourself to receive the benefits of your effort here today. Head comes neutral, gaze is straight up towards the sky, and the invitation is to close the eyes, if that's comfortable for you. If not, a soft gaze towards the ceiling will do just fine. If this brings any pain to your lower back, you might want to bend in your knees, bringing your feet to the far edges of the mat, allowing the knees to knock together. Lift the hips to tuck the hips once more, elongating the lower spine to release it onto the ground. Or release the hips back down onto the ground. So the knees are being held up just by gravity here, knees knocked together, hips rest heavy. It's called broken bridge pose. Traditionally, it's practiced, Savasana is practiced with the legs down the length of the mat, but do what works for you. I'm going to come up to seated to more easily guide you through this meditation, but you please stay reclining or seated, however you might be practicing this. And we'll start this just the way we started our seated grounding practice, with 3 cleansing breaths. In through the nose and an audible sigh out through the mouth. This time the shoulders can just stay relaxed where they are. And allow the breath to continue just in and out through the nose if that's available. Inviting your exhalations to become longer and deeper than your inhalations. The intention of Shavasana is to integrate all that you've practiced throughout class so that it can settle deep within your muscles and your memory. Allow space between top and bottom teeth as the jaw hangs heavy. And the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth, a symbol of chitta vritti, monkey mind. You're just inviting that monkey to sit this one out. The muscles of the lips and cheeks relax. Nose and nostrils rest. Gently allowing air to pass through like waves lapping up to shore. Eyes rest heavy in their sockets. Eyelids just barely touching. And the space between the eyebrows broadens as all of the muscles in the forehead relax. Muscles surrounding the ears with all their wrinkles and folds, all the way deep down into the ear canals. Rest. Back of the head, crown of the head, hairline, all those muscles relax. Neck and throat, release. The shoulders melt away. Upper arms and elbows relax. Lower arms and wrists release. Palms of the hands, backs of the hands, knuckles, fingers, fingertips, fingernail beds, all rest and integrate all that you practice. Space between the shoulder blades, middle and lower back relax. Chest and belly naturally rising and falling with the breath. Pelvis, glutes, hips, rest heavy, supported by the ground below. Thighs and knees melt away. Lower legs and ankles release. Heels, arches, toe ball mounds, tops of the feet, and all of the toes relax. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Whole body rests. Notice if in your mind, if only just for a moment, there silence and that inner dialogue. Notice if in your breath there's ease. Notice if in your body the places of tension have found space. The places of restlessness have found peace. Allow for everything that did and did not happen in class today. Know that in yoga, practice makes practice. Nothing more and nothing less. Gently allow your inhalations to become longer and deeper than your exhalations. As fingers begin to wiggle and toes begin to curl. Every inhale replaces that feeling of heaviness with a feeling of openness. On the front side of the body. Head begins to rock side to side. And arms reach up overhead for a full body stretch. And bend your knees, rolling over to one side, whichever one feels natural. Landing in a fetal position, you can rest your head on your elbow or on your arm like a pillow. Here, bring to mind any intention or dedication you may have set for class, or you might take a moment here to set one now. And if that intention inspires you, take it with you off the mat and into the world. Allow it to affect you and the people around you for the rest of your day. With eyes still closed or gently lowered, press your hands into the ground to come up to a seated position. Just like how we started class. Hands come to meet at heart center, palms pressed together in Anjali Mudra. Today we worked on a series of hip and lower back stretching postures, focusing on twists. The first namaste is said silently to yourself, thanking your body for the effort it put into class. And the second namaste is said out loud to everyone that held this space. Namaste. Thank you to everyone who joined me in class today. I hope you found something that serves you. Namaste, Bodhi. Namaste, Swiss R. There are a few for nice feet. I missed something. Pinos, Texas. Hello, an exercise you can do with your feet to get your feet stronger. Yeah, I got you. So I don't know if you were in class, like I was thinking about actually doing this in class today, but then I forgot. Namaste, Mel. How's your lower back feeling? So one that you can do, Miss Mango, namaste, love it. Good to see you. Is you can interlace your fingers with your toes. So starting pinky finger with pinky toe. Interlace, interlace, interlace. You know you did it right because your index finger is between your big toe and your first little toe. And then scooch it in so that the webbing of your feet and your toes are touching or close to it. Opposite hand scoops under. And then you're going to squeeze your foot with the hand. And then your toes are going to squeeze your hand with your toe muscles. Does that make sense? So you're squeezing the foot with the hand, then you're squeezing the hand with the foot. back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. And then you're going to squeeze both together. So slower than I just did it, right? You could connect it to your breath. Inhale, one squeezes, exhale the other, and all of that. That's going to open up the feet a lot and bring some strength to them. And then another one, so you're going to want to obviously do both sides. It's pretty intense. It's a good one. And then the other one that you can do that's going to open the bottom of your feet and build some strength in them is tucking the toes under and sitting back on the heels. So I remember when this was like excruciating, like I would like almost cry in this, and now I can sit like this for like, I don't know, 20 minutes before I realize that maybe I want to move. So, yep, and then to even this one out, you untuck the toes, coming through tabletop, pressing the shoelace part of the feet into the ground, and lift the knees off. That's pretty well rounded. So honestly, that's plenty. Like just to go through that is a pretty good foot strengthening and flexibility roundabout. So I hope that helps. Mel, thank you so much. My lower back and hips have so much more space now. I didn't realize how much tension I was holding in my hips until Savasana. Sergio, hello, welcome, welcome. Yeah, totally. Well, good on you for having the insight to even say that your lower back needed some extra love today. Sometimes it's just like, oh, like my body's tight, but I don't even know where. So the fact that you have that awareness of like, well, like I at least know it's in my lower back. You're in a good place conversationally with your body. But yeah, lower back and hips are usually pretty tied together. So when people tell me they have tight hips, I'm like, okay, they're probably experiencing some like lower back stuff too. Let's see. Also, Sergio, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. Pino Texas also saw the one with an asigamano foot. Oh, I don't know what that is. I am not familiar. Or maybe I am and I just don't know the name of it. But potentially I don't know at all. Yeah. I just watched Limitless, the movie. Oh my god, I loved that movie in college. Limitless. Well, I think it's because in college all I wanted to do was get my hands on that drug so that I could like actually get through college and survive. I was like, I wouldn't even use it for evil. I just want to like pass my classes. Wow, I haven't seen it in a long time. I haven't seen it in long enough that I don't remember if it was a good movie or not. I just remember loving it in college. But I don't think my standards for movies were that high at the age of 19, so hard to say. Hard to say. Mel, if you're still here, before bed, like when you get into bed, when you're laying back, doing those like hip circles with the knees, like just drawing circles with the knees is going to help release some hip tension. And then you can just do like the spinal twist, reclining spinal twist, just seated. And that's going to be really good for you. Just like a little nighttime routine. It's like 15 seconds total. Or maybe like 30 seconds total. I would do like 10 seconds in each pose. And that's going to release a lot of tension. And you don't even need to be like really on a hard surface to do that. You can just do it in bed. We can be like him. Yeah, I forget how the movie ends. I can't remember if it's a happy ending or spoilers. I mean, this movie's like 10 years old, but I just remember like the crazy fights and how like time slows down for everyone else, but not him, because he's like on this like crazy drug, and then he like drinks the dude's blood to get like another hit. I was just like, wow. I don't know. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever in college. Pinos, but you have to do that with the towel. Prepare towel? What towel? Sorry, I think I'm missing something. I don't know what a Protera towel is. Yes, he and the girl, mega spoiler, and being a president.
and he being a president. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's okay. Well, whatever. It was, oh, right. Okay, I kind of remember the end. Thank you, Bodhi. Thank you for, yeah, it's really not even like your job. It's like my job to say it, but I just like appreciate you because I literally forget every time you don't. Tips are super, super appreciated. I saw a couple little notifications light up already for today's class, so I appreciate you. Thank you. That link that Bodhi just posted, or just through Venmo at Samuel St. Pierre, my name. Really super appreciated. The $5 just get you a recording of class with timestamps, so you can go to all your favorite parts of class, so you don't have to hear me talking about my favorite movies in college or my run or any of that. You can just not even worry about fast forwarding, just go straight to the timestamp to get to your grounding meditation. Or if before bed you want to listen to something more relaxing, watch Savasana, or halfway through your day something pisses you off and you need somebody to scream with, you can just hop right over to that recording and play that breath of joy. Play that breath of joy practice or the movement practice and just sweat it out. Yeah, so really appreciate you guys coming through. Today is class number 64, if I'm not mistaken. 64? Yeah, class number 64. So it's been a really great year so far. I've been really appreciating you guys, your company, and like motivation to move every day. Like most days, oh, did you see that? Did you see that little yawn? The little wolf yawn? It was so cute. She knows I'm talking about her. So yeah, most days I wanna move. Just like, do you want to come on screen? Are you? I wasn't making fun of you. Stay. Everybody likes you. Everybody likes Wolf Dog on the stream. You can stay. Don't be jealous, Lucy. It's okay. The dog kind of hung out with us all class today, huh? They just left for their walk, and when they got back, they came right back into the room and hung out with us. I wonder why. Yeah, Wolf Dog. Alright. Who do we want to raid? It's 10:04, guys. I made it though. I got my run in before class, which is happens few and far in between, but will maybe become more of a habit as we move forward. But Wednesdays and Fridays I'm kind of cheating because I teach a private lesson at like 7 a.m. So I'm already awake, so it's easier for me to just run before class. Your volume is not loud. Oh, Lucy just stepped on something. Oh, like for music? I can just stop that. Okay. Guys, I have so much, I'm just surrounded by love right now. Should we leave? How are you? Should we, let's see. I thought that Mobility Gabe would be on, but I guess I missed his stream. Sorry, Gabe, if you're out there. How about Yogale Inhale Joy? At no. What do I want to do? / read Yogale _ inhale joy. Have a good day, my friends. All right, so we're gonna go over and raid this awesome yoga streamer who's been really friendly and really welcoming to me in the Twitch community, and I'm very grateful for her, for them. And we're just gonna send some good vibes over there. And I will see you same time, same place tomorrow to stretch it out, scream it out, and sit in stillness. Bye.
acuerdo de ti, Pino. Ok, no entendí. Three-eyed tigers! Welcome! Thank you so much for coming and for the raid. We are doing a little bit of yoga and then we will start dancing. But I needed to do a little bit of yoga because I was sitting the whole time today. Okay, not the whole time, but yeah, kind of. And I need to stretch, I need to move, and then I will relax moving while yoga.